window and bullet hole in the windshield. The aftermath of a deadly police shooting in Senatobia, Mississippi that resulted in the death of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley. The shooting sparking outrage.
I'm more angry because the situation that took place really was unnecessary. What I'm hearing from what happened, it was unnecessary.
According to investigators, the shooting, which took place Sunday in this Walmart parking lot, occurred when officers responded to a shoplifting call involving 2 adults and a child. Authorities say the 2 adults, now identified by the family's lawyer as the boy's mother and her friend, tried to get away, driving toward and nearly hitting an officer. Another officer then firing at the car. In this video, officers can be seen running. One witness telling a local reporter of the 2 adults. One was carrying the child, the other a box of diapers.
Policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some Pampers.
Investigators say the trio ended up at a local hospital where the 1-year-old was pronounced dead. One of the adults suffering critical injuries. No officers were injured. The family of Cohen Wiley now distraught and demanding answers.
I don't know anything right now. My grandson gone. I just want justice.
Tonight, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is now investigating the shooting. George Solis, NBC News. A shattered window and bullet.
Rest in peace, Cohen Wiley. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're not talking about gang violence, street crimes, thugs, gangsters, gangbangers. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a toddler taken out by the hands of law enforcement. He adds to a long list of martyrs who happen to be children. And it's crazy because just last week, I stated that I won't be surprised if they start taking out toddlers, claiming that they fear for their lives. Not even a week later, we have this situation. Ladies and gentlemen, the nation is entering a very dangerous phase right now. It really is. It's going to the point of no return. It seems like a dark spirit is hovering over America. And it seems as if they have allowed these demons to be let loose. Within the course of just 1 week, there has been so many senseless and heinous crimes committed against Black Americans, from elderly to youthful. And we're going to talk about some of those stories because something has to give. And I want to be clear about this. Right now, we may be enduring Jacob's trouble that the Bible speaks of, but I can assure you, the Most High sees all of what's taking place. And the tables will turn. And there will be retribution for the evil that has been conducted against God's chosen people. The wicked will perish. They will be destroyed. And the righteous will take over. Now, we're going to go into some history here, y'all, because in order to understand the past, you can understand what's going to happen in the future. And also you can understand how to move in the present. Now, with this situation that just took place at the Mississippi Walmart, they claim it was over some diapers. It hasn't even been confirmed that the mother was actually stealing. And if she was, in this economy, stealing diapers, it was not justified to open fire into her vehicle. And it also has not been confirmed with any visible proof that that vehicle was moving towards law enforcement. And seeing as how the police have a track record, you know, Tamira Rice, who was 12 years old, Ayanna Stanley Jones, who was 7 years old, Clifford Gover, who was 10 years old. How about Jeremy Martis, 6 years old? Same thing. With Jeremy, police opened fire into a vehicle. Adrian Murray, 11 years old. But he ended up surviving the shots. We got to talk about this. We're going to talk about what's going on in the nation right now. They are, and when I say they, I mean the global satanic powers. They are trying to start a race war. That's what's going on right now. That's why everything in the media is race specific. Everything that gets the most traction is race specific, because why? They want to divide and conquer. But there's a reason why they want to divide and conquer, because guess what? They know a lot of people are actually awakening. A lot of people are actually coming together. Don't believe all the headlines. But what you do need to know is there's a devil that wants to rip the world apart through divide and conquer so they can complete the depopulation agenda. Make no mistake about it. The real battle is good versus evil. And I'm going to be very clear about this. White supremacy is downright evil. And anybody who tries to align themselves with white supremacy, then they're evil too, regardless of their skin complexion. But y'all know how we do. We give up nothing but the truth. So as you enter the broadcast, make sure you get the likes up. And we're going to definitely get into this truth. Let's go.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Peace and blessings to the chat. I see y'all rolling in. What's good? I see Julia Gordon is in the building. Hello, shalom, sister. I see Shamir's in the building. Tania's in the house. Blessings, blessings, blessings. God's Properties in the building. Dennis York. Dublin Fitzpatrick. Shawnee Wayne. Hello, hello. I am glad to have y'all present. Good evening. The Lord's Lady is in the building, set apart. Yes, yes. Heavenly's in the house. Empress, I see you. Wanda Austin. It's good to have y'all. Kim C. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a lot going on this week, y'all. It's a lot going on this week. And there's a certain shift going on in America. There's a shift. There's something very ominous going on. And you can almost feel it in the air. It's at the point where people truly have to choose sides. People have to choose whether or not they're going to be on the side of the devil or they're going to be siding with Christ. And it's becoming evident who's on the right side and who's on the wrong side. It should be absolutely apparent who's who at this time. And anybody who is in support of the Babylonian system, anybody who is in support of the oppressors and the colonizers, the white nationalists, the white supremacists, anybody who is in support of these factions, anybody that is recycling their talking points, anybody who is believing in the Christian nationalism and not the Christ that's in the Bible, they're on the devil's side. It's really that simple. It's so easy to see. You barely got to test the spirit. All you got to do is listen. Now, we're talking about young Cohen Wiley. And this story is truly heartbreaking.
Was shot over a box of diapers. Mississippi police officers responded to a shoplifting call at Walmart. After arriving on the scene, Cohen Wiley, his mom was leaving the Walmart parking lot. And the police said that they were trying to flee the scene with a box of diapers. And they fired shots, end up hitting Cohen Wiley. They're going to say there were accusations of theft. Nobody confirmed theft. Accusations of theft. They're going to somehow say that these people look threatening and they had to fire shots. Walmart made $29 billion and a 1-year-old kid was shot over a pack of diapers. Doesn't this sound familiar? Almost like a 14-year-old being shot over a bottle of water, or maybe a kid being shot over a thing of orange juice. The truth is, they were shot because of the way that they look, and they were already perceived as a threat. Like, comment, repost, let's share the story. Follow for more.
Notice how it is not confirmed whether or not that woman was still in diapers or not. She was suspected of stealing diapers, which means more than likely she was racially profiled while walking through Walmart. Somebody notified an employee, and one of the employees called the police on this woman. Now, mind you, we're talking about one of the most racist towns in Mississippi. And there's already people outside of that Walmart protesting and petitioning for the camera footage. And law enforcement is already setting up outside of that Walmart. I'm going to show y'all some footage. It's already beginning to escalate as protests erupt.
No justice!
So, Pepper, we are backing up because we're starting to ingest a little bit of that tear gas at this point. But if you take a look over there, and Kim's going to try his best whilst remaining safe to make sure he gives you. Officers are kicking some of those pellets around, trying to clear people out of this area. You can see some of the gentlemen over there having masks on. Obviously, a lot of people, as you heard, were crowded around this Walmart, as you said on Sunday. That is where the shooting happened. And many of people were trying to make sure they were advocating for the Senatobia community, for the greater Mississippi community, and particular, they tell me, for Black communities. Now, I apologize again. We're trying to back as far away as possible because the tear gas is slowly but surely moving in our direction. But you can see plenty of people are scattered around this Walmart trying to make sure they are remaining as safe as possible. People have been telling me all day today, excuse me, sir, people have been telling me all day today that they are trying as much as possible to keep one another safe. Excuse me. And they are trying to make sure that they are doing their job. Now, we are as quickly as possible moving away from all of this. You can hear my voice is getting harder and harder to talk about all of this. But people are clearing from this area, holding one another. I saw a couple of people interlocking arms, trying to get each other as far away from this area as possible.
They are out there tear gassing protesters. From what I'm hearing, the protesters want footage because there's cameras all around the perimeter of that Walmart. They're demanding footage. That's what's happening. And instead of the public responding after the death of this 1-year-old baby, instead of responding with cooperation, they decide that they're going to tear gas the people. Now, the Bible makes it very clear the times we're in right now. It truly does. It truly does. Isaiah 59:14 says, "And judgment is turned away backwards, and justice standeth afar off." See, the prophets described a society that would struggle to find truth and justice. See, many families in these cases feel the same struggle. They're just trying to seek answers. Just like Black America just wants answers in regards of the Carmelo Anthony situation. They just want answers. You can't just claim that you're carrying out justice if you're not carrying out justice publicly with full transparency. That leaves people with open wounds. They're attacking our ability to be able to mourn these traumatic situations that's going on. These situations are historic and tragic, and they're not even giving us the transparency for us to mourn them. That's why something is being kindled up spiritually. When the scriptures say, who can rile up the Lion of Judah? And you know what? That's exactly what they're doing. They're riling up the Lion of Judah. They're riling up the Spirit of Christ to wreak vengeance on these devils. The scriptures also go on to tell us in Psalms 82:3, it says, defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Let's say hypothetically, this woman was stealing diapers for her baby. The Bible says, defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Not open fire, fatally wounding a 1-year-old child. But see, when you got these demonic savages that are given badges and they're literally let loose on society to carry out their own justice, then all hell breaks loose. And it's all it really is a bunch of white supremacists behind badges. This is a sick situation that occurred, and we got to highlight what's going on to our people, because far too often we're getting demonized in America when we see who the real savages are.
They're killing our babies. Just like in the street, they're killing our babies. And before you get at me and you say, hey, Uncle Hammy, that's not your child, or that's not part of your community because you look like this and that beautiful child look like that. Fucking miss me with that, all right? That's not how I live my life. That's not how I feel. I feel like you are all my brothers and sisters, or however you identify my sibling. Let's use siblings. And that all these children are our children. That's how I live my life. If you don't live your life that way, fucking fine. But that's how I live my life. And they're openly killing our children at this point. And we're doing nothing about it. We're doing nothing about it. Now, you know what's going to happen whenever I make videos like this? Comments come into my comment section. Maybe not on this platform, but you'll see them on other platforms. They come into my comment section and they're bots condoning this behavior. Shouldn't have been stealing. The cop is a hero. There's a concerted effort of people spending enormous sums of money to convince other people, specifically that look like me, to dehumanize and condone this behavior. Think about that. We don't do anything about that either. They're killing our babies and corrupting our minds, and we just go along with it, man. We just go along with it. And I don't know about you, but I'm done. I'm fucking done with it. Rest in peace, sweet child. Namaste. I love you. They're killing our babies.
I think it's important to understand that just because someone is of a different skin color doesn't mean that they don't have empathy and compassion for what we're going through. However, in this intense battle versus good and evil, we're going to need our Gentile brothers and sisters to not only put out the material that is drawing awareness to what's going on. I'm going to need my Gentile brothers and sisters to truly uplift our community. And there needs to be an organic grassroots movement of people of all races who stand against the evil that's going on. You got to think about what's happening in this country. We're entering a very, very dark phase. And it's going to have to be people who are truly following Christ versus these fake Christian nationalists, these devils, these white supremacists, and those who align themselves with them. The great divide is here. If the Strait of Hormuz doesn't open up in a couple weeks, just know that by the end of July, it's going to get serious, and there's going to be people stealing a lot more than just diapers. Right now, America is using its reserves. If that Strait of Hormuz doesn't open up, those reserves are going to go down, and you're going to get the bare minimal when it comes to services and goods, because those transport lanes are going to be shut down. That's what type of phase we're entering in America. And what they're doing right now is they're creating a whole lot of tension right now in the air. So when things get serious and we are in austerity measures, those purge people can come out and do what they've been doing. I'm telling my people, practice your Second Amendment, train with your firearm, be prepared for what's to come, and understand that there's devils out there, there's demons out there who understand that we are God's chosen people. They understand that there's a spirit that operates in us that changes the frequency in the world, not only the planet, not only the country, but the world. And the devil knows that they're running out of time. So our skin color, our melanin, our life force becomes the threat itself. We become a threat to their existence. So it's good that we got Gentile brothers and sisters that speak up, but it's going to take people actually digging into the history somewhat and continuing to proclaim the real identity of Christ. Continuing to proclaim the truth. Because this is not just a physical battle going on. This is a religious war. This is a political war, and it's a physical war. And also it's psychological. So if you're going to be in it, in this war, and this is a brave man for saying what he's saying, but all of the Gentiles got to go all out with it and choose their side. Don't be ashamed of this gospel. Don't be ashamed of this truth. Spread it everywhere. Share it everywhere. And understand that the kingdom is at hand. Understand that.
A 1-year-old was shot over a box of diapers. Mississippi police officers.
We watched that one.
Plainfield man has been charged with yelling a racial slur at a 9-year-old boy. This happened on Saturday near 1400 West Jefferson Avenue in Naperville. 29-year-old Jeffrey Feigenbaum is now charged with 2 felony counts of hate crime. DuPage County prosecutors say the boy was building a fort with friends and a girl allegedly damaged it. When the boy knocked on her door, Feigenbaum allegedly came out of the home using the slur, pushed him, and then threw his bike.
Everybody meet.
29-year-old Jeffrey Feigenbaum, the racist white supremacist who decided to call a 9-year-old a racial slur and attack him while throwing his bike. Now, I know y'all wondering, how could this occur? Well, let me give y'all the backstory. The little 9-year-old and his friends was building a fort. Mr. Jeffrey's girlfriend's daughter decided to destroy the fort. So the little boy decides to go knock on Jeffrey's girlfriend's door to inform them of what just happened. Guess who comes storming out the door, attacking the little boy, calling him a racial slur, then throwing his bike. Mind you, he was just coming to tell them that his girlfriend's daughter just destroyed their fort. Simply doing what a child's supposed to do. Instead of taking action into his own hands, he's going to go tell an adult like a child's supposed to do. And this ignorant fucks decide to attack him, calling him a racial slur, also throwing his bike. Like, this type of shit pisses me off. Because why don't these ignorant racist fucks never have this much smoke for a man, a black man? Always our woman and our kids, never for the man. You know, as much as I'm mad at this situation, I can't be that pissed off at the ending result, because Mr. Jeffrey was locked up for a hate crime and also for attacking a 9-year-old while calling him racial slurs. Welcome to DuPage County, Illinois, where they don't fuck around. It's about time they start teaching these ignorant fucks a lesson. Control your fucking kids. Control your mouths. Stop screaming out racist shit. And yes, justice was served. They locked his ass up for a hate crime, as they should. Thanks to the police officers for doing their job. They really earned my respect with this one.
Plainfield man.
And you know, the police shouldn't even earn our respect for doing their job. They're just doing their job, and they should always do their job. But no, the brother's correct, though. You know, justice was served in that situation. My only pushback is this. We need a hate crime bill that's revised, because, yes, if you hurl out a racial slur or obscenity to a black person, then you will get charged with some sort of hate crime. They will give you some time. But here's the issue. A lot of the times they don't hurl obscenities when they're doing something quote unquote racist. And a lot of times they get away with discrimination. They get away with their prejudices. Some of them are more intelligent than just hurling the N-bomb. So, you know, they like to operate under the radar a lot of the times. And we be knowing what it is. Our people be knowing what type of time these people on, but we can't prove it. So more often than not, they get away with situations like this. They truly do. But yeah, you know, but the good part about this one is he's going to jail. And, you know, hopefully he gets mollywopped and jolly stomped and, you know, punched all in his jaw and face and head, and, you know, and he gets dealt with in there for picking on little black children. Because it seems to be some trend going around right now with these demons deciding to pick fights with our children or our elderly. That's going on a whole lot.
Under no circumstances will I allow anyone to tell me that the black community is not under heavy attack. In 1 week, you have Cyrus Belton. The following week, you have Carmelo Anthony. And then the following week after that, you have Keon Wiley. My people, and I'm speaking to y'all directly, my people. In the Willie Lynch letter, I don't know how many of y'all read that letter, it said if we can forever keep them chained in the mind, they will forever be slaves. They want us to get out and march, riot, and cause chaos. So Juneteenth is coming up, and I want y'all to remember to be safe. That's what they want us to do. They want us to feed into the propaganda that they are trying to push out on us. They want to be able to have a reason to have Trump put the army on soil. Okay? I want y'all to understand what is going on. Not only are they trying to keep us enslaved mentally by what they are doing around us, but they are also trying to send a message to continue the Willie Lynch letter. Be smart about your decisions this coming weekend. Love you, bye.
Yeah, that's real talk. That is real talk. They're trying to usher in Jim Crow 2.0. And they do want boots on the ground. They want martial law. They want a race war. They want people triggered. They want us going back and forth. They got agent provocateurs within the community. They have their race soldiers. They also have their crash out dummies and their Manchurian candidates mixed in with some sleeper cells to do everything in their power to create a race war so they can institute martial law. That's what they want. Of course, we don't want that. Melanated people, we want to be left alone. We want to be able to have family reunions and cookouts this summer without being harassed by white supremacists or police. We want to be able to enjoy our friends and family without worried about having to duck bullets from an AR-15. As you all know, here in Georgia, there was a shooting of a family reunion. And it was also one of the grandbaby's birthday parties. And it was shot up by a racist neighbor who was hurling obscenities. There were elderly women rolling under cars. They were rushing the children back in the home. And the assailant only got charged with aggravated assault. And the people are barely talking about it on the news. He was able to bail out on a $500 bond. It was $5,000, but of course they give you 10%. So he got out with $500. He is at home chilling right now. You can't tell me that wasn't a race soldier. You can't tell me that wasn't somebody hired as a provocateur to create fear, panic, and destruction in the community. They're letting them loose. That's who wants the race war. Whoever's controlling the power. Listen, the scriptures tell us straight up, and I want to go here, just so we know that we're going to have the last laugh. Daniel 7:27 says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. That's what they're afraid about. That's what they petrified about. They know that their time is running out. They know our God is going to give us the kingdom.
Mississippi police killed a 1-year-old after his parents were accused of stealing diapers. To quote the family's civil rights attorney, Cohen Wiley was a baby. His mother, who has not been charged with any crime, says that she was trying to communicate to officers that there was a baby in the car. They fired anyway, leading to the death of an innocent 1-year-old. We intend to seek justice for baby Cohen and the life that was stolen from him. And they knew the baby was in the car because the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, which is investigating the shooting, said in a statement that when police officers arrived, they encountered 2 subjects and a juvenile child fleeing from the store into a vehicle. And after they were shot at, the driver then drove to the hospital where the baby was pronounced dead. I said it before and I'll say it again, and cops wonder why people don't like them. Mississippi police killed a 1-year-old at...
So allegedly, the police knew upon arrival at the scene that the baby, the juvenile, along with the mother, was getting into the car. They used the word fleeing. Maybe they did not know they were being chased. Maybe they were just going home. And if they were fleeing, then how did the vehicle drive towards the police? If the police arrived and seen them getting in the car to leave, what they call fleeing, how did the vehicle end up driving towards the direction of the police if they were fleeing? I do not believe that they were driving towards the police. And that's why the protests are beginning. Because guess what? They're not being transparent with the footage. So knowing that this woman had her 1-year-old, they decided that it was in their best interest to fire their Glock 9s into the vehicle.
A 1-year-old child, Cohen Wiley, is dead at a Walmart in Senatobia, Mississippi, a city 40 miles south of Memphis, Tennessee. And regardless of what investigators ultimately conclude, we have to sit with uncomfortable truth. A baby should not lose their life during an encounter over suspected shoplifting. Allegedly, the mother drove in the direction of one of the officers and nearly struck them. But asking difficult questions is not anti-police, it's pro-accountability. As a psychiatry resident, I think about trauma, the trauma experienced by families who lose children, the trauma communities carry when force is used disproportionately. But we can't neglect history and the creation of the police force. Policing black neighborhoods has been a way to dehumanize living for black people. When Amadou Diallo died in the 90s, when I was on my block on Wheeler Avenue in the Bronx, I looked at America in a scarily way, especially as it pertains to police officers. In many parts of the United States, police academies last around 6 months. May vary, but in Europe, officers often receive 1 to 3 years of education and training, with emphasis on communication, crisis intervention, and de-escalation. Most police officers will never discharge their weapon in line of duty, but inappropriate firearm use is not unheard of, and it's quite common. Merchandise can be recovered, court cases can happen later, but a 1-year-old child only gets one chance at life. If we want communities to be safer, we need officers who are better trained, better supported, and equipped with every possible tool to resolve encounters without deadly force. This is very frustrating. This child should be living right here and right now. 1 year old. He deserved better. He deserved a chance at life. My question is, are police officers trained for long enough in the United States? How do y'all feel? Comment down below. Let me know. A 1-year-old child.
And then notice the woman was actually not even charged with anything. So the question is, was she actually even shoplifting? Because from every account that I'm researching, it says accused of shoplifting. It's not been confirmed that she was shoplifting. And however, even if she was, opening fire into her vehicle is not justified. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There's some footage out there. There's footage out there. And somebody caught something on camera, or there's some type of Walmart camera. The footage is there. And I don't believe that this is one of those stories that we should just let go. I think whatever they have needs to be released immediately. Immediately.
This incident happened at the park because someone felt uncomfortable.
Who's uncomfortable, sir? We're fine with them being here.
Let's just keep a running tally from the past month, all right? We are not allowed to run for our lives when we're accused of stealing and we didn't touch anything or we didn't take anything, okay? We're not allowed to defend ourselves from two much larger people attacking us unprovoked. We're not allowed to run for our lives when we're accused of stealing diapers that we did not steal. That's confirmed. And a 1-year-old was murdered over fucking diapers, even if diapers were stolen. A shoplifting. You shoot into a car that you know has a baby in it over diapers. And now we're not even allowed to sit down at a public park, chilling, minding our business, when there's hundreds of other people in that park just minding their business. And I can guarantee you it was those white people behind the swing, because that white woman behind the camera is advocating for them. Those white people behind the swing, quiet as a fucking church mouse, whispering to each other. It was them. They called the cops because black kids were just sitting there, minding their business. We're seen as a threat for simply existing. For simply existing.
This incident happened at the park because someone...
Now, these young men aren't thugging. They're not drugging. They're not bothering anybody. They chilling. Just being God's chosen people is a threat in such an evil world that's covered in darkness. Just minding your business and existing as a foundational Black American in these times we living in right now, you become a target. You become a target. And it's a reason for that, because like I said, these people are petrified of us because they know God is with us. And the world gets evil by the day. It gets evil by the day. And the more evil it gets, the more they have to see us, and that's a reflection of who they should and wish they could be. Because they know judgment is coming. We're just a reminder of that judgment. They think if they can eradicate us, somehow they can prolong their reign of terror. Ecclesiastes 3:16 says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. See, Solomon, he says corruption can exist in the very places that we're supposed to be delivered to justice. So you got corruption in a place where we're supposed to be delivered to justice. And then you living in a time where wickedness is sitting where righteous judgment shall be, like courtrooms, police departments, so on and so forth. Jim Crow 2.0 is what it's starting to look like.
What's the solution to 1-year-old boy get shot by the authorities because his mama was allegedly stealing diapers? Like, life gotta come with solutions. That's the whole purpose of, being people, being human. It's finding solutions. It's over with for normalizing things that's counterproductive to the human experience. What's the solution to a problem where people feel like they can just do whatever? They can make atrocious decisions like this. What's the solution? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm interested in hearing from you. And keep it real with a soldier in a major way. You know what it is. Black Seed.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, the solution is really gravitating towards our Lord and Savior. Really embracing the awakening. Really protecting yourself.
Shot a little boy. He walked.
And this right here happened 5 years ago. This clip that I'm about to play. And I'm going to show you how quickly we forget about these people murdering our babies. 5 years ago, this took place. And you know what? In this situation right here, if we don't push for some type of justice, this same story that we're talking about today will be covered up in no time. But peep this.
Walks free, making bond on Tuesday. It has this family angry and confused.
And I'm trying to figure out how he got a bond that was so low for trying to kill my kid.
Arnold Daniel trying to figure out why Ryan Lee Wen is out of jail after allegedly shooting his son Kobe.
He tried to hit me with a sledgehammer, but that's not gonna work because I'm too fast.
So then what did he do?
Got a gun. Boom. Shot me right here.
It's all on video Saturday afternoon on Candlewood Lane. You'll see kids playing, hear a gunshot, then Kobe realizes he's hit. Lee Wen allegedly fired through his front window. The bullet went in Kobe's arm and out the other side.
Shot a little boy. He walks free, making bond on Tuesday. It has this family angry and confused.
And I'm trying to figure out how he got a bond that was so low for trying to kill my kid.
Arnold Daniel trying to figure out why.
And we're surprised about the Carmelo Anthony verdict. How quickly we forget. Somehow it seems like we're not being governed by the same rules. These people get bailed out, get a slap on the wrist. It's almost like there's a hidden understanding that we don't have. Like almost like the other nations are greenlit to try to take us out whenever they feel like it. It's almost like a hidden code that they go by, like something that we don't know. We claim that, and when I say we, I mean the United States claim that Black Americans are the criminals and the thugs and the gangsters. And what about Black on Black crime? What about this? What about that? However, we're the highest exonerated people in America. The murder rate, aggravated assaults, drug crimes, we're exonerated twice as much as anybody else, which means we're over-policed and we're falsely accused. That's what that means. That means the average foundational Black American is going to do time in prison for some he didn't even do. What do I mean by bond? Meaning this individual, he bonded out. Meaning he posted bail and bonded out. Meaning his bond was low. Same thing this year, a couple days ago, with the white supremacists who shot up the family reunion. He was able to bail out with $500. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do house arrest or something in a couple months. We're not living by the same rules. And this is why the Most High don't want us to be comfortable in our captivity. You got a lot of Sambos and raccoons. They're comfortable in captivity. They're comfortable in a place where we don't even actually belong. We're supposed to be the head and not the tail. We're supposed to be the lenders and not the borrowers. We're supposed to have our own nation, our own tribes. We're supposed to be policing ourselves and governing ourselves. And when you are a chosen one and can actually see, it's kind of like a gift and a curse. It's kind of like a gift and a curse because you know exactly what life's supposed to be like. And it's not supposed to be like this. We're being governed by lunatics. The inmates are running the asylum. The government is being ran by a bunch of sick PDF files who sacrifice children. They use our tax dollars to fund wars. And they strip the earth of its natural resources to selfishly hide themselves from judgment by building underground caves to protect themselves from God. Now, when I say that out loud, That sounds crazy. It's not crazy because it's the truth. And we're not supposed to see this. We're supposed to be happy with the goy slop that they feed us. And we're supposed to be happy with being entertained. We're supposed to be happy with having access to things that decalcify our pineal gland. We're supposed to be happy to have access to things that release dopamine. And we're supposed to be happy with our civil liberties and our conveniences, our Uber Eats, video games, clubs, bars, hookah lounges. We're supposed to be happy with a bunch of bullshit. We're supposed to be happy with living a life where we own actually nothing. And that's what they said, that we will own nothing and we will be happy. Not God's chosen people. No, I'm not saying we're miserable because we know that it's light at the end of the tunnel, but damn it, we damn sure are not comfortable in this sick society that we can feel. We can feel the energy in this world. So every day we're not going to be jolly, happy, go jolly when you got to turn on the news and find out that they out here wiping out babies. You're not going to be happy, go lucky and happy, go jolly when you see that there's no justice in this system and it's just simply unfair. No, you're not going to be happy with that, no matter how you slice it. There's people who are Gentiles. They're not happy with seeing this type of stuff. I know a lot of white brothers and sisters that are not happy with this type of stuff because why? The Bible says when the wicked bear rule, the people will mourn. Now, I'm not speaking against video games, sir. I'm just saying, they expect us to be happy with the little things they give us.
Loved ones now must grapple with the loss of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley. His family says he was killed after a bullet pierced this car window when his mother and another relative were leaving the Senatobia Walmart.
CJ got shot.
This video shows the chaos moments after the shooting. Law enforcement seen running through the parking lot. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation tells us officers claim they were called to the store on a shoplifting call when they saw 2 adults and the child leaving the store and get into a car. When they tried to make them stop, they claim the driver drove towards them, nearly striking an officer. At least one officer shot at the car. But as little Cohen's family mourns his death, they also have questions when it comes to the police department.
Senatobia Police Department get away with too much stuff. I hear about it all the time. It's in the news all the time. Y'all probably down here all the time recording this stuff. But it's just too much.
We have reported extensively over the years about controversies involving the police department. Last year, the department came under fire after a woman had a taser pulled on her and was tackled to the ground after police claimed she illegally parked in a handicap spot, also at Walmart. The woman claimed she had just dropped off her grandmother inside the store. In 2023, the case of a 10-year-old little boy made national news after he was detained for urinating in public. After the incident, the police chief at the time said one of the officers involved was no longer employed and the other officers would be disciplined.
This was total irresponsibility.
In 2022, the police department and the housing authority went head-to-head after what many called a rough arrest of a 31-year-old man was caught on camera. Since these incidents, the department has new leadership. Today, I spoke with the mayor, who would not say how many officers were involved in this latest incident or if anyone was on administrative leave during the investigation. But a longtime community organizer says this weekend's shooting brings up the need for change.
The community is suffering, and we tired of the proliferation of this type of violence being administered from the police force. and we tired of it, and we ready to respond to it and get something done.
Loved ones now must grapple with the loss of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley. His family.
As you can see, they was roughhousing another lady at that very same Walmart. Not the very same Walmart, but that same county. Attacked a woman for dropping her grandmother off. Like, it seemed like the police, when they get a call at one of these Walmarts from that particular county, they ready to just crash out on people. Soon as they hear the suspect is black. And I guarantee it's somebody working in that Walmart or working in these Walmarts that are making them damn calls. And it's interesting that this stuff is happening at Walmart, because Walmart backwards, that's martial law. That's martial law. And that's what they're going to be using those Walmarts for. But Walmarts are under heavy surveillance, man. There's got to be video footage of this situation. The people are protesting, trying to find out what's going on. And I want to thank everybody who's sending super chats. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. Dan Mack says he shares John 15:12. It says, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Absolutely. God's people are going to love each other. But as far as these devils go, ain't no love. Just like ain't no love in the heart of the city. Ain't no love. And to their bigotry and their, Satanism stops.
I don't like it when people try to say that black people are creating division, when the whole purpose of this country is to other black people. This headline is a lie, by the way. Woman fired for being late 47 times. She gets paid for being late. It plays upon a stereotype, first of all, and it completely leaves out the context that her white coworkers were late more than she was. She literally tallied all of the tardies and whatnot, did all the math, and her white coworkers were never penalized for being late, and they were late far more often than she was. That's why she got paid, because it was literally discrimination. She was the only one punished and penalized for tardiness when her white coworkers were left unscathed. They do this shit on purpose. They do misleading headlines. They do inflammatory headlines because they want to push stereotypes about black people. They want to create a division against black people. It's why you see people do, like, if you see I just saw a video of a white woman. You know how some convenience stores, they have a button that you can push behind the counter that locks the front door? A white woman tried to steal from a convenience store. The owner, or the cashier, pushed a button and locked her inside the store because she was trying to steal, right? All of the comment sections talking about she's going to press charges, this is assault, blah, 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 protecting the white woman trying to steal from the store, right? And I'm never going to defend when people are trying to steal food, right? But Cyrus Carmack Belton was murdered at 14 years old for something he didn't steal. And everyone is justifying his murder, blaming him for something that he didn't do. There's a double standard in this country that protects whiteness, or anyone that's of a closer proximity to whiteness. We're always blamed for the harm that befalls us. It's so annoying. I don't like it when
it seemed like the white supremacists have gotten froggy. It's almost like they got away with the Cyrus Belton situation. There's no justice for Cyrus. They got away with murdering a young man who was accused of stealing and wasn't. Could they have taken it a step further in Mississippi? Got that call, went to the scene and murdered a 1-year-old child. in the same situation where somebody was not stealing, simply got accused of stealing. And honestly, it seemed like they were trying to take out the whole family. They seen 2 adults and a child entering. Maybe it was the mother and father getting in the car. I don't know. There's still no confirmation whether or not they were actually stealing. Maybe they want to see what the people are going to do to demand answers. And this situation is crazy. They plastered this woman on the headlines, says she's getting paid for being late to work 47 times. Come to find out, she's getting paid because her co-workers, who happen to be Caucasian, was late twice as many times as her. But she was fired and made an example out of. That's discrimination. This is why we got to start creating our own streams of revenue, man. In a lot of situations, that's the way to go. Because these people don't show us no love in the workforce. I'm telling you, they really don't.
We are not seen as human. We are not seen as human. How in the fuck, in what fucking universe do you shoot inside of a car that you admit has a juvenile in it? That means you see a baby inside the fucking car. Never would it be a rational thought in my mind, in any circumstance, to shoot into a fucking car that I know has a baby in it. They don't view us as humans. That's the only way that your brain can make a decision. Like shooting inside of a fucking car that you know there's a fraction of a possibility that the casualty could be the little fucking baby. What the fuck are we talking about? All fucking day I've been arguing with these white racist ass people. Well, she was shoplifting over some diapers that they're saying that she had the receipt for, and you're saying that you think it's justified to shoot and murder a fucking baby over some fucking diapers? What?
And that's interesting. He said that she may have the receipt for it, because sometimes, you know, anybody who have toddlers out here, you know that you'll go into the grocery store to take those back, because sometimes your baby grows so fast. Your 1 year old, because that baby was 1. So at 1 years old, that baby may be in the 3 1 week. And then the next week, before you can even get to those diapers, that baby is in a 4. You see what I'm saying? So perhaps they were looking for the diapers they were trying to get. They walked out with the diapers in their hand, had a receipt for it because they were going to exchange them, but probably didn't see the brand they wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of scenarios. They could have had the diapers, didn't see the brand they wanted, had the receipt, and said, you know what, let's go to another Walmart. But it's like in these situations, we are never given the benefit of the doubt. I was looking at this one story where these 3 Caucasian ladies were just making up stories on this woman who was not stealing, found out she wasn't stealing, but they could not wrap their mind around the fact that this black woman wasn't stealing. I'm telling you, they're looking to try to nail us to the cross with anything. It is harassment going on. They're always harassing us. We're always being gang stalked by these weirdos and freaks who are trying to pin something on us. That's why we need our own communities.
What fucking reality are we living in? What the fuck? The charge for, even if you did steal the fucking bitch ass diapers, your child should be shot and fucking murdered. What the fuck are we talking about? I am so tired of day after day after day being reaffirmed in the conclusion that this fucking world does not give a fuck about black people. I don't give a fuck. We are not seen as human. We are not seen as human. How in the fuck, in what?
I mean, the police deal with us with absolute fear and extreme prejudice.
The driver that the car smells like marijuana and says he will kill him as the officer pulls him out of the car. Now, in the video, the officer says reaching for a gun is the reason for that comment, but the driver is not seen with a gun.
So when you get out, I'm gonna pull you out. I want you to put your hands on top of the car. Why am I getting up with? What are we doing?
I don't want to get hit with copyright.
Put your hands up. Don't fight. You didn't do it. Bro, what? I will fucking kill you. You understand me? Bro, what the fuck?
You hear how shocked he is? You could just hear the evil on this man. I will effing kill you. Like sounded like a demon. I will effing kill you. See, this is what I'm saying. They are chopping at the bit to be able to wipe our people out, especially down south, man. That's just how it is. That's how it is. And, you know, let me say this. Because you got the raccoons and Sambos that'll sit up here and say, you know, this is rage bait content. Anytime we're exposing white supremacy and we're exposing the evil that they do behind the scenes, anytime darkness is coming to the light, they call it rage bait. But the very same creators like to highlight black dysfunction. The same ones, black person molests this person or that person, some weirdo, some Manchurian candidate, some person that broke out the psych ward. They will highlight that individual and try to rage bait people against the black community as a whole. But anytime you point out the hypocrisy, anytime you point out the demonic energy, anytime you point out the evil of the white supremacy, they'll sit up and say we're rage baiting. No, we're exposing evil. We're exposing evil. If you got rage because of it, that's natural. If you feel some type of way about what they're doing, that's natural. I feel some type of way about it too. We should feel some type of way. We shouldn't be sitting here comfortable thinking that these things don't exist. Because if we sit here comfortable acting like it don't exist, then guess what? Then we're caught off guard. We don't know what's going on in the world. We're walking around oblivious to the devil that's like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour. I'd rather be on point than be thinking it's all peaches and cream and flowers and candies and smiling faces when I know that there's a dark presence that's hovering society that don't want children of the light living. When I know that there is a conspiracy to criminalize black men and black women. When I know that there's a depopulation agenda geared towards eradicating our children. No, I'm going to point out the evil. And it's not about having a victimhood mentality. It's about educating our people, because you have some of us who will see this information and see that the struggle is real, and they're going to start to enlighten themselves. They're going to start to fight back with knowledge and wisdom. They're going to start learning the law. They're going to start learning the Bible. They're going to start learning about spirituality. They're going to start doing everything they can to learn how to defend themselves in situations. And I'm talking about defend themselves in a practical way. There's people who view this material and understand that you have to see what's going on so you can learn how to control your emotions in situations. Because they want us to crash out and put ourselves out there. No, we speak the opposite over here. We don't move in haste. We're not going to give these devils what they want. What we're going to do is we're going to cleave closer to our Lord. We're going to cleave closer to the Most High. And we're going to stay educated, and we're going to stay sharp to what's going on in the world. Simple as that.
A Mississippi police officer shot and killed a 1-year-old, allegedly because its parents were shoplifting diapers. Again, allegedly, because the reports are very conflicting. According to police, the shooting happened in response to one of two subjects driving in the direction of officers. That's supposedly what happened, according to the police department. And let me emphasize again, shoplifting diapers. Please tell me why this video exists of the car driving away from the police officers.
Ooh.
They're driving away from the officer.
Up, she got the footage of them driving away. Yo, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. There is no way that story made any sense that they were driving towards those officers. Because if you've seen them getting in the car and allegedly fleeing the scene, why, how, and why would they be driving towards the officers? Fleeing would be driving away from the officers. That's footage.
Officers, right before the shooting happens. Yeah. Something else you need to know about this.
Hold on, we got to go back.
A Mississippi police officer shot and killed a 1-year-old, allegedly, because its parents were shoplifting diapers. Again, allegedly, because the reports are very conflicting. According to police, the shooting happened in response to one of two subjects driving in the direction of officers. That's supposedly what happened, according to the police department. And let me emphasize again, shoplifting diapers. Please tell me why this video exists of the car driving away from the police officers. They're driving away.
If that was the car in question, that car was clearly driving away. It was a dark color sedan. I don't know what model. I mean, it was a sedan, but I don't know what make it was, but it was a dark color sedan driving away. It was driving away. I don't know if that's the car in question. I'm going to look at what car, all of that. Then that car was definitely driving away. If that was some other car that was parked that's driving away from the scene or something, but I'm going to say allegedly for now, but that vehicle right there was definitely driving away. And I believe that they were driving away. I believe that in a lot of the southern states, they let the devil loose. They let the devil loose. They let the devil loose to shoot up family reunions. They let them loose to go ahead and go after our children. They let the devil loose. And I want to read the scripture in Ezekiel 35:5 that Kim C shared. I want to read that scripture because that's an important one right there. It says, because thou hast had perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. This is why these individuals are going to be destroyed. This is why. Because they have had perpetual hatred towards the Most High's people, the children of Israel. And they have shed the blood of our children. That's why they're going to face calamity. That's why they're going to be judged. I can't wait till the Most High destroy these filthy animals, these wicked beasts, these spineless, gutless men, these savages, these barbarians. I can't wait till the Most High corrects this situation and destroys these devils and the Sambos that hang on to their coattail too, who sit up here and we're living in a different time. Well, we all got equal. Oh, the black man need to get it together. No. We're not trying to hear none of that. 2/3 of our people, they're going to be cut off because they're going to hold on to this demonic system. We're not even worried about them. They're going to get judged. The 2/3 are the ones who embrace the Babylonian system. So they're going to get exactly what they're supposed to get. I don't preach a message to them because they already, it ain't no correcting the 2/3. It ain't no, you got to be held accountable. You sound crazy trying to sit up here and tell the 2/3 they need to be held accountable. They've already cleaved to the whole system, the whole Babylonian system. They already believe in it. Money is their God. They already praise the Babylonian mystery school system. They're already black pagans. Well, ain't no need to talk to them. We're going to proclaim judgment to all evil. Because that's why situations like this is happening.
From the officers right before the shooting happens. Yeah. Something else you need to know about this. The officers say this, that they saw the two people with the child. Apparently it's the mother and the aunt. They saw the woman holding the child get into the passenger seat. They know the child is in her hands. Yet they fired upon the car for shoplifting diapers. But
there was two women in the car. Two women, the aunt and the mother. One of these adults are in critical condition, by the way.
Eyewitness reports refute that completely. This is according to an eyewitness. I saw the two women exit the store, one carrying a single box of diapers and one carrying the infant. The mother was riding in the passenger seat holding the child when the officer shot. And the aunt who's driving was also hit and is in critical condition. Okay. And another witness, don't worry, we have multiple.
They're both in critical condition and there's witnesses. And I'm pretty sure somebody has it on their cell phone. The footage is going to come out and this story is going to become very big in the nation. I will be surprised if Mississippi don't turn up because of this situation. I will be shocked if they don't. And I'll be shocked if this story just disappears in a day. This is some serious stuff, y'all. And let's see what they're talking about now.
Saw the car driving away, which is the video that I just showed you. Shockingly, no arrests have been made. Nobody's been put on leave. None of that.
No, somebody did get put on leave. The officers got put on leave, but there's no charges against the officers. I believe the officer who shot, he was put on leave. There's no charges. There's no charges.
And now this sweet baby is gone. I am so sick of this. The whole police system is corrupt, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. I'm heartbroken over this, and I don't know. I think that might be it for me for news for the day. Anyway, sound off in the comments. Blue hearts for the baby, and I will talk to you in a little.
Boy, I feel like I need a couple shots, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Stories like this is very, very disheartening. You know, it's a lot to carry with this stuff, but we gotta talk about this because this is the reality, man. This is what's happening. I actually gotta brighten this up a little bit and give y'all a little bit of good news, man. Let the young man rest in peace, man. That's just sad. Little baby boy, man, have his whole life ahead of him, just taken by some reckless white supremacists. Here's a little bit of good news, though. Chud the Builder got denied bond.
Happening now, the controversial online streamer known as Chud the Builder is making an appearance in a Nashville courtroom. Dalton Etherly faces 3 misdemeanor charges stemming from a May incident at Bob's Steak and Chop House inside the Omni Hotel. Investigators say Etherly live streamed inside the restaurant after staff asked him not to, then refused to pay. Etherly also faces separate felony charges in Montgomery County for a shooting investigation. During Etherly's court appearance, one investigator on the stand recalled the shooting.
Shots are shown to be fired prior to them hitting the ground.
Shots are being shown to have been fired prior to that?
Yes.
And how do we know that?
I can see, or in the courthouse video, it shows the casing ejecting from the firearm. It also shows the ricochet off the concrete planter.
Okay.
Prior to them hitting the ground.
So Mr. Fox hadn't been hit at that point, correct? If you're seeing a ricochet in one casing.
I would assume so.
The judge denied Etherly's release today, citing violent posts he's made on social media. Etherly is also facing a $1 million bond in the Montgomery County case. Happening now, the controversial online streamer known as
Chud the Builder is going to stay in jail. And, you know, he's right where he belongs. This domestic terrorist who looks like Buzz Lightyear will remain in cuffs. He will remain in his 5x5 cell with Bubba in them. Right where you need to be, because, you know, he was letting black studs pound him. They were going to Pound Town on old Chud, and he was running around trying to instigate violence with black folks. And you know, the MAGA community, they're upset about this one. They're pissed off. They wanted their boy Chud to come home so they can crack open some Budweisers and, you know, throw some swine's flesh on the grill and talk about how, you know, he was able to shoot a Negro and get away with it, you know. But no. Not only did Chud Cheddar Bob himself, he still got to sit up in the jailhouse. I know people smacking him all in his mullet. I know people taking his snacks, they taking his milk cartons. I already know. I can tell you right now, this little blockhead dude right here, he getting completely bullied in jail. I'm telling you right now, he getting bullied. I mean, they doing him dirty. He's washing somebody drawers in the sink, and it is what it is, you know. So there's a little bit of light in the world. Chud the Builder stays his ass in jail, right where he belongs. I know the Carmelo Anthony situation been tough on us. I know, y'all. It's been something, you know. But at least Chud the Builder, with his with his Nick Fuentes ways, his Chuck Norris watching self, is still sitting up in the beam. He's still sitting up in there. Crying. He be crying in court, crying in the cell, crying. Yeah, Chud, they taking his felines off his feet. You know Chud look like he wear felines. They doing Chud dirty. Chud got a Lego Minecraft head. They just be slapping him in his mullet. You know, people being there roasting his scratch and sniff mustache. Gladiator, thank you for the support, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Chud's still in there chimping out. He's still chimping out. But listen, rest in peace to Chuck Norris. But, you know, they took Chuck Norris the wrong way. White supremacists thought Chuck Norris was one of them. Chuck Norris was cool, but they thought when they seen Chuck Norris, they thought he was one of them good old boys. I'm telling you, man, you know, sad situation going on in America. Like when you think about Carmelo Anthony's situation, that gave us a blow, because it's like this. If it would have been two black kids, two black 200-pound teenagers rolling up on a little 130-pound Caucasian white boy, and he was to stab one of them after they shoved him, it'll be open and shut. It wouldn't even have went to court. They wouldn't even have brung no cuffs out. We know that. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It wouldn't even have went to court. Hold on, these two big black 200-pound boys pushed you? Nah, they wouldn't even have brung the cuffs out. He would have went home that day. An honor roll student, a star athlete? No, come on now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous situation. But, you know, at least Chud is where he belongs. And I honestly, for whatever reason, y'all, I have the feeling that they're going to make an example out of Chud. I do. I think they're going to make an example out of Chud, because he was kind of playing with the police too. He was wasting their damn time. You know, the state of Tennessee don't like people wasting their taxpayer dollars. And I think, you know, they seen what Chud was doing. They seen what he was doing. They was watching his social media. I'm talking about the police and them. They like, look, he got us going out to potentially dangerous scenarios. Like if he get caught up, he on his own. That's what the Tennessee police was thinking. All that for chasing clout.
The Chinese population is deeply, deeply unhappy. And unhappy people tend to be racist, as you can probably see in the MAGA crowd. Unhappy people are desperate to vent on someone. Chinese people can't vent on the government because they don't want to go to jail, and they can't vent on white people either because it may cause diplomatic incidents and their accounts may get banned. So what do? They look for a target that will not get them in trouble. Someone told me about this very disturbing TikTok trend in China. So basically, a lot of people in China were filming themselves torturing these dolls that have dark skin. Maybe I could say something like not all Chinese, but it wouldn't mean much, you know, because statistically, pretty racist. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They just are. Racism is always highly correlated with ignorance. Most parts of China are still highly undereducated. Pile on me if you want, but it's true. I mean, their education is okay in terms of math and science, but when it comes to humanities and social sciences, it's like non-existent. The second explanation, the cult of money in China, psychology toward race. I mean, of course, Americans love money too, but compared to how much Chinese love money, you guys are like amateurs. China literally has a god called Caishen, which means god of money. It's actually worshipped by Chinese of different beliefs, like Buddhists, Taoists, and some other local paganists, even atheists. They all sort of worship the god of money. There's not a family or friend gathering in China where people don't talk about money. So of course, race is also incorporated into that monetary value system. Okay, my third point. Some of these racist video trends may have been the Chinese government's. I don't have any evidence, but I know for sure that the CCP wants Chinese immigrants to be hated in America. If they're hated, they'll feel more vulnerable and be more loyal to the motherland. They'll either go back or maybe help China achieve some policy goals in the US. Okay, the last point. The Chinese population is deeply, deeply unhappy. And unhappy people tend to be racist, as you can probably see.
And you know, I wanted to show you all that it's not just a quote unquote white man. When it comes to the racism that goes on in the world, the Bible tells us that all of the Gentile nations will come together in crafty counsel, saying, let us cut the nation of Israel off so their name will no longer be in remembrance. There's a concerted effort to stifle God's chosen people. And this type of hatred goes on worldwide. It must be happening for a reason. The last shall finish first, and the first shall finish last. Ecclesiastes 5:8 says, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. So don't be shocked when you see systems become so corrupt and the powers that be protect the assailants. We can't be shocked at that part, that they actually protect these police officers who are killing babies, that they're allowing countries or allowing people in power to do these racist things, say racist things. Don't be shocked. They're going to protect those type of systems.
Rick Chow was found not guilty for killing that 14-year-old black boy. As somebody who worked in retail for a lot of years, and somebody who was in charge of the asset protection at a retail store, let me tell you this little story. I'm in Best Buy, I'm at the front. Two guys walk in, clocked them immediately, kind of knew they gave off a little energy, right? They asked for about $4,000 to $5,000 worth of Apple products. They act like they was going to pay for them. They picking stuff out. When it's time to pay, they checking everything out. Those dudes snatch it off the counter, take off towards the front door. Now, me being AP, I'm at the front door, right? Guess what I do when they get to me? Absolutely nothing. A couple reasons why. One, we got cameras. Two, they trained us not to get in any physical altercation. We can't even try to take the products. Well, we're not supposed to try to even take the products out of the people's hands because they don't want to get a lawsuit on their employees, right? The company's about the money. Also, the products are insured. So as a retail employee of a $1 billion company, If I'm not allowed to chase these people out of the store and track them down for 100 yards and take the $5,000 worth of product back, how did this man get away with chasing down a 14-year-old over 4 bottles of water? It's because the kid wasn't white. The kid was white, that man would be moving into Jeffrey Epstein's old cell right now. Rick Chow was found not guilty for killing that.
That's real talk. That's why I say they live by a different set of rules than us. It's not the same set of rules. There's a lot of double standards and corruption. Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, to turn aside the needy from judgment." Listen, God, the Most High, pronounces judgment on those who use laws, policies, and their authority to deny justice to vulnerable people. That's why divine intervention got to come in. Most High is not playing. He's going to be bringing in divine intervention because these people are living by a different code of rules.
So for all the racists on here who love to talk about black and brown predators or the dangers of undocumented folks, can you please explain why nearly 80% of the people who produce, distribute, or possess child SA material are white men, and almost all of them are U.S. citizens? And by the way, you can check that data for yourself. So you see this? This is the U.S. Sentencing Commission's interactive data analyzer.
Why the raccoons don't ever talk about this?
Which is a nifty little tool that lets you look up stats on any federal crime category overall, and then you can break it down by race.
Why the Hodge twins don't ever talk about this? Why Anton Daniels don't ever talk about this? Why is always an isolated black situation when they make up the numbers of doing these heinous crimes to innocent children?
And then you can calculate the percentage of that crime done by each racial group for every year going all the way back to 2015, or you can do it for a range of years. So I did that for child SA material prosecutions from 2015 all the way through 2025. And it turns out that
a raccoon is what we call somebody who is a race traitor, who aligns themselves. Well, let's just say it this way. A black person who aligns themselves with white supremacy. That's a raccoon. Let's go.
That 78% of those prosecutions were of white men, almost 8 out of 10, while only 6% were of black men. You know, that group that y'all racists say is the most dangerous and awful group out there? So what the hell is it about white men that explains this? I mean, after all, for other crimes, everybody's got a theory to explain it, right? For typical street-level violent or property crimes, both the left and the right have theories. We on the left say socioeconomic factors can explain them. The right says it's culture, maybe even biology. But my point is, everybody has a theory. And yet, when it's white dudes that predominate disproportionately in some category of misdeeds like child SA material or child sexual exploitation, also about 71% of those are white folks, according to a DOJ report released in January of this year, or spree killing or mass school shooting, suddenly nobody has an analysis at all. Apparently, we just treat that shit like some inexplicable individual pathology, or we write it off to mental illness or video games or some shit. We never blame it on white culture. We never blame it on whiteness. We never blame it on white DNA. We never ask what's wrong with the white family. We do that about the black family all the time. We say, where are the black dads? We never ask where the white dads are. What's wrong with white fathers? Well, apparently some of the white dads and some of the white uncles are online looking at the child SA material. That's the problem. If we were actually a country that cared about actual predators, particularly the ones who threaten children, if we were actually worried about danger, we'd be asking this question about why white people and white men in particular are so predominant in this category of dangerous criminal offending. But we're not that country. We just want to racialize danger and crime. We don't actually want to protect people from harm. So for all the racists on here who love to talk about...
And see, I applaud our Gentile brothers that talk like this. Just hit them with facts. Just hit them with the statistics. Just hit them with the data. And see, the argument from the Sambos would be, this is the argument from the Sambos. Well, that's the white community. We highlight that behavior in the black community on social media more because the white folks are not in our community. we're highlighting what's going on in our community. I'm calling BS on that, because the reason why you're living in a world where so many people are missing is because the ones who have the power, they're turning a blind eye. So in order to get justice in the community that you live, you need to call out the power structure that allows these PDFs to walk, that allows these nasty uncles and nasty aunties to walk away after doing what they're doing to the children, because they let them get away with this stuff in courts. The people who control the system, those in power, you have to condemn. Not only do they have the highest numbers, but the reason why these lunatics are set free in our community is because of their system. It's just easier to target Black people and highlight the degeneracy among us to make it seem like it's a huge problem in our community, instead of calling it out from the top. Now, I'm going to show you what they get away with because we don't call it out from the top. Matter of fact, there's a certain video I want y'all to see. Peep this.
75,000 files of children and babies being abused, and he says he's not going to stop, and the court lets him walk free, and the reason will enrage you, as will the judge. The man behind me is 82-year-old Louis Rumis, and Louis was found with over 75,000 files of CSAM that included babies as young as 6 months old. Police first raided his home back in April of 2024, seized laptops, phones, SD cards, hard drives, and other devices so packed with this stuff that officers eventually stopped counting. Even after that raid, while he was out on bail, he kept downloading more, later telling police that he enjoyed looking at the images and basically he wasn't going to stop, and he admitted it, not even a guilty plea. This was a sustained, deliberate habit built on the suffering of children whose abuse has been recorded, shared, and replayed for his gratification. At Southampton Crown Court, Judge Nigel Peters, let me show you this guy. This is Judge Nigel Peters, KC, and he gave Rumis an 18-month prison sentence and then fully suspended it, explicitly saying the only reasons for the suspension were his age and his guilty plea. Oh, and a fun fact here about Judge Nigel Peters, KC, he once told a 13-year-old girl that she was the predatory one after being the victim of a child abuser. Yes, really. So for tens of thousands of images of children and babies being abused and tortured, the consequence is go home, do some rehabilitation days, and hope that you don't reoffend. At 82, even though he says that he's not going to stop. And all of this is because he's quote-unquote too old for prison. The system is effectively saying if you're old enough and you say sorry, you're too fragile to be punished, but not too fragile to consume videos of babies being abused. It is hard to think of a clearer message to survivors and every child in those images. Your trauma is negotiable, your pain is suspendable, his comfort matters more than your safety. That is what it's saying. Too old for prison is not a justification. It's another example of who these systems are willing to protect and who it's willing to sacrifice. And in my profile, there is a petition to end easy plea deals for those who harm kids. Sign it. Please, for the love of God, sign it and follow for updates. I have a feeling we're going to have to do a deeper dive on this, Judge.
Yep. And see, y'all got to understand these Freemasonic elite is the reason why you have these individuals walking around a community, because guess what? As a whole, they get a slap on the wrist, especially in their community. But even the ones that's in the Black community, you got to ask yourself, why are they there? How are they there? Some of them are there not even put on any of the SA offenders lists. None of that. Why? Because of the crooked, reprobated demonic system, especially if it's a person who's a Freemason, especially if it's somebody who is tapped in, locked in, and connected with certain people. They get away with this type of deplorable behavior. Why? Because the world is being ran by these individuals. It's being ran by these sick weirdos and freaks. Look at this weirdo right here with this damn wig on his head. Look at this dude. Dressed like the Captain Crunch dude. With bangs. He got bangs and a damn lace front. And he got finger waves. He got a blonde finger wave wig. This is a damn federal judge. These are demons, y'all. Your man got a half mullet, finger wave, lace front press with makeup on his face. And he's a federal judge. He looked like somebody's auntie. He looked like somebody's auntie that smoked menthol lights. Oh, man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, y'all. You see why we feel the way we feel about this society, why we not... Listen, they can't call out white supremacy like this. The people come over here, y'all view this material because y'all know we're gonna keep it 1,000, man. We're not gonna play with these people. These weirdos and freaks, these are the ones who are acting like they're the more authority. Yeah, looking like he sit there with his legs crossed. He looked like he sit there with his legs crossed, tapping his Virginia Slims. And it's a federal judge letting these PDFs walk. Why you think they letting them walk? Because they all connected. They all connected. But nobody want to talk about these individuals. They want to keep targeting the black community all the time because that's a softer target. Now, we're not doing that. It's time to be bold nowadays. And they saying this is the officer right here who took out little baby boy, man, the young Prince Keon Wiley.
This is the alleged officer. The alleged officer. I have to say alleged. The alleged officer that took Keon Wiley's life. The man that recklessly shot into a car that was going opposite of them and hit that 1-year-old baby.
If this is the alleged officer, if this is the officer, then I'm telling you right now, Mississippi, hey, y'all got to start immediately demanding justice, calling this officer out by name. That's the same thing that was done in the George Floyd situation to get some motion. You got to call him out by name. You got to keep taking to the public. Y'all got to keep protesting. Don't let the foot off the gas. I'm not telling anybody to do anything violent out there. I'm just saying that you got to keep this officer name in your mouth if you want any type of justice. Don't let them sweep this under the rug. Don't let these people sweep this under the rug. Listen, they can't keep getting away with killing our babies like this, bro. Because we're going to find out in the next couple days if this is the officer or whoever the officer is. I guarantee, mark my words, it's gonna come out that there's some racist demo on this individual officer, whoever did the shooting. It's gonna be some demo that come out that he's a part of something.
We know they're in Mississippi, and we know how Mississippi feels about black folks. And this particular police department has had several issues when it comes to people of color. Okay, they've had several issues. I've read them. I'm leaving this here. Y'all do what y'all need to do.
Yeah.
Do what y'all need to do. Because somebody better be held accountable. I am sick of seeing our children die by the hands of reckless individuals who are supposed to protect and serve. And all they're doing is serving justice in their own way against people that don't look like them. And I'm tired of seeing it, and I'm trying to stay calm so this video does not get taken down. But y'all do what the fuck y'all need to do.
Yeah.
This is the alleged officer.
For real, y'all got to call this out. Y'all got to do what y'all got to do. For real. That they cannot get away with murdering this baby, bro. There's no way.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you a racist piece of shit if you believe Carmelo Anthony deserved 35 years. Quinn Bowles is a 23-year-old white man from Indiana who beat a 3-month-old baby to death, and he only got 25 years.
He beat a 3-year-old baby to death and got 25 years. Carmelo Anthony gets shoved, defends himself, and he gets 35 years. Man, listen. There is an injustice going on. Something is wrong.
Carmelo Anthony was not a violent kid. He almost had a 4.0 grade point average. He came from a 2-parent household and he lived in the suburbs. When Carmelo Anthony was 14 years old, he saved another kid from drowning, which shows his true selfless character. Carmelo Anthony was not a troublemaker and he did not get into trouble. He was a first-time offender on a first-time offense. These cops I'm about to show y'all are grown adults who murdered black children and black adults. Police officer Roy Oliver murdered 15-year-old Jordan Edwards and he only got 15 years in prison. But Carmelo Anthony, a teen, gets sentenced to 35 years in prison? I'm sorry, but that sounds like white privilege to me. Police officer Amy Geiger murdered 26-year-old Botham Jean, and she only got 10 years in prison. But Carmelo Anthony, a teenager, gets 35 years? That don't sound like white privilege to y'all? Police officer Aaron Dean murdered 28-year-old Atiana Jefferson, and he only got 11 years in prison. But Carmelo Anthony, a black teenager, gets 35 years? Now that's some white privilege for your ass. And I can keep going and going too. I'm sorry, but giving Carmelo Anthony 35 years is some racist bullshit. That was a crooked ass deceiving trial. America's still on that racist bullshit. Then you got black people like Candace Owens saying racism and white privilege doesn't exist in America.
Was there ever a point in history where white privilege did exist?
Of course, there's examples in the history of the world where you would have been privileged if your skin was white, especially in this country. But today, no, white privilege does not exist.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you a racist piece of shit if you believe Carmelo Anthony deserved 35 years.
Amos 5:12, for I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just. They take a bribe. You're living in a corrupted system where the innocent will suffer and corruption gets rewarded. Corruption gets rewarded. The innocent suffer. It makes no sense that Carmelo Anthony gets a 35-year sentence on an alleged crime that he committed as a first-time offender as a 17-year-old, which would be a minor. It makes no sense that he would be charged as an adult to do 35 years. That's not justice. In a damn kangaroo court where they delineated for 3 hours before reaching a verdict. In a situation where there's some type of video that exists, but the public has no knowledge of the video, has not seen any video. Justice has not been served, clearly. Now, whether it's all scripted to fuel more racial tension, or this just the way it is, things will never be the same. It can go either way. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's always been this way in Babylon. Telling you. And they be saying white supremacy don't exist.
White supremacy is supposed to be white men and white women. How can we look at white supremacy if now
I don't think white supremacy is a real thing in 2026, man, if we're going to be honest. I think it's kind of like it might have existed before in the past, but I think nowadays it's not really a thing. I would argue that a lot of white men a lot of times don't necessarily have the same supremacy or benefits they might have had maybe 100 years ago. I think it's a dated term that doesn't really apply to 2026.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so I'm a white nationalist, white supremacist.
All right, cool.
I don't agree with you when you say that none of us exist. Obviously, I want to deport the non-whites. I want to get rid of the blacks.
Well, I didn't say you guys don't exist.
Okay, so
I said that it's not like a viable excuse anymore to claim systemic racism.
But we
or
are real, right? You agree white nationalism and white supremacy is real?
Yeah, it exists, but it's not to keep anyone from success is my argument. I don't think white supremacy is a real thing in 2026, man, if we're going to be honest. Well, I didn't say you guys don't exist.
White supremacy.
Man, listen, I'm going to say this. Proverbs 17:15. He that judgeth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abominations to the Lord. If you justify wickedness and you condemneth people who are just, you're an abomination to the Lord. So all you content creators out there who just trying to be sensational and pick a side, not understanding or not knowing, not having the knowledge, not doing your research, not really truly coming to an understanding, just understand this. You are considered an abomination to the Lord if you are out here justifying wickedness. At the same time, you're condemning the just. So some of you damn raccoons, you sambos, you lames, you goofies, y'all need to be careful how you covering them stories. You really just condemning yourself. That's what you really doing. Condemning yourself because you think that you're being different and special because you're not riding with your people. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you just gotta be on code with your people. Sometimes you just gotta ride with your people. And it's not because you are a follower or something like that. It's because right is right, wrong is wrong. It's right is right, wrong is wrong. And if my people are tired of the oppression, tired of the unfair treatment, tired of the judicial system and the lack of justice, and everybody want to talk about that, then you know what? We all need to be on board with that. We all need to be on code with that. We all fed up with that. That don't mean we want a race war. That means we want to unite and be on code. They the ones want a damn race war. The people who are pushing all of this in the media, the people who are allowing the white supremacists to run amok on a community. That's who want a race war. We just want to protect our families and live. Kim says none of these white supremacists can explain what the hell black people did to them either. Shaking my head. Exactly. It's just us existing. It's just us existing. And they know their time is running out. The devil running out of time. I'm going to tell y'all this. Listen, brothers and sisters, Satan is getting mighty desperate out there. And I want y'all to be very careful who you spend your time around, because he'll utilize practically anybody in this day and age to try to distract brothers and sisters who are going somewhere in life, to try to distract you from your spiritual journey, to distract you from your self-improvement journey. Brothers and sisters, you have to be locked in this time. You gotta be. You gotta stand firm in truth. If it's people in your life that you got to second guess, you may have to veer off. Get a better vantage point to see who is who in your life. Because when times get critical, when times get desperate, when these wars start popping off in this country, these quote unquote civil wars, when they start putting people in these FEMA camps, when austerity measures come, because there's no services and goods because there's no oil. That's when you want to make sure you around like-minded people. All that, listen, all that I can do bad all by myself and I don't want to be around people and all, listen, I hear all that. I get it. And the truth of the matter is the chosen ones are few and far in between. But there has to come a time where you start gravitating towards your soul tribe and just making sure that you are not surrounded with people who are jealous, envious, people who want to extract your light, people who are determined of believing that you are a version that they created in their mind. You know, people who are set on believing you're one way, but that's not how you really are. Or people who speak down on you and want to try to hold you to your past and things like that. People who don't want to see you move forward. People who don't want to see you happy. People who don't speak life on you. People who just speak negative. Get them people out your life, man. You don't have no time for that. And also, don't be out here engaging in folly and madness. Let people talk. Let them say whatever they want. Lions don't compare themselves to the opinions of sheep. People can think whatever the hell they want to think. You're too strong for them. You look at it, brothers and sisters, a lot of people who talk about y'all, it takes groups of them. It takes whole covens and whole gang stalking lists, and it takes all these damn clusters to come against one person, and we still be standing bold. We still be doing what we need to do. It take 10 and 20 and 30 of these cowards, 3, 4, and 5 of these cowards to try to discourage one of the children of the Most High. Don't forget who y'all are out here. Do not forget who you are out here. And when it comes to all of this racist stuff, this racial stuff, yeah, I'm talking about it now because that's the climate of society right now. And we can clearly see the trajectory of where things are going. But do that mean that we're going to always talk about these topics? No, but we can feel the environment. We can feel the spirit of what's happening in the world right now. So we're talking about it because guess what? We got to be prepared for it. Our Gentile brothers and sisters got to be prepared not to fall for the peer pressure. A lot of y'all don't know what some of the Gentile brothers and sisters go through. We don't hear all the conversations that they may hear among their peers and how they stand up even when nobody's watching. When these white supremacists, these closeted white supremacists that cloak themselves in Christianity be racist and they be having these different stereotypes and undertones. We don't know what they be dealing with. Some of the things they say and how some of the Gentile brothers and sisters be standing their ground when we're not even looking. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. But as far as you brothers and sisters go, everybody listen. Surround yourself with people who got love for you, just like Tania said. And be grateful for the people who are there. Be grateful for the people who actually care. Be grateful for the people who can speak positive. Be grateful for the people who do think highly of you. Even if you got flaws, there's some people in your life, they just see something greater in you. There's some people in your life that you can have in your life that want to see you win. And as long as you linked up with them, they refuse to see you lose. Those are the type of people you want, people who encourage you. It's very hard nowadays to find people who will encourage you when you're down. One thing about us, a lot of us brothers and sisters who rep the truth, we are very, very empathetic and we're kind with people and we don't have jealousy in us. We want people, we want to see people win. That's something that people lack in this time. That's why a lot of people who walk away out of your life or a lot of people who burn a bridge with you, they really be feeling it. They really be feeling it because you were really there to support them. You were really genuinely there for them. And a lot of you brothers and sisters was taken for granted, but you was a legit, real friend to them. You was not somebody who wanted to see the worst out of them. You wanted to see them elevate. You wanted to see greatness. That's why you were supportive of certain individuals. You know, listen, but I'm gonna tell you, the world is so conniving, they be projecting thinking that you like them. A lot of y'all got betrayed by people because they looked at it like, let me betray this person before they betray me. Because they got their own wounds and their own damages, because that's how they live their life. They live like that. They cutthroat people. They knife people. They try to get leverage on individuals. They use people and do all of that. The Most High's people don't do that. We don't go in any situation intentionally trying to hurt nobody. That's not in our character. Notice I said intentionally, because Lord knows we can hurt people, but it's never intentional. We can make mistakes. We can do things that we're not proud of, but it's never intentionally to go in and hurt somebody. Why? Because we got compassion. We got compassion. We got empathy. We actually have a soul. There's people living this life right now that hate us simply because we have a soul. And they got to look at us and be like, man, I'm not like that. And they would try to mirror you. They would try to mimic you. They would try to act like you, steal your persona, your personality, talk like you, act like you. But it's not real. It's not real. It's treacherous in this time we living in. Some people you'll be around and you don't even know you in some type of war with these individuals, but they think they're in a battle. They're in some competition. They're in some type of war. You don't even know it. And the Most High has protected y'all to the point where they think you cheated to get out of the war. What do I mean by cheated? They thought you won the game by cheating. You didn't even know it was a game being played. You didn't even know it was psychological war going on. You didn't even know that some of the people that was in your circumference was playing a game. No, you listen, a lot of y'all been graced with favor from the Almighty. You have people in y'all's lives that are jealous of your favor. They wish they had the grace that you had. They wish that they had the favor and protection that you have on your life, because they tried everything in their power to destroy you. They tried everything in their power to destroy you. Projection, gaslighting, manipulation. I don't even know how we got on this, y'all, but the Holy Spirit moves. Somebody need to hear this. The Most High showed favor, and the people who purposely try to set you up for failure, they seen the favor on you. They saw it. A lot of them knew that you was one of the Most High anointed, and they made a decision to do the wrong thing anyway. See, the Most High warned some people about you, brothers and sisters. The Most High actually warned some of these people about you. And they wanted to test the Most High's boast on your life. They looked at your flaws. They looked at the things that were shortcomings. And they said, no, that person can't be all of that. That person can't be that strong in the faith. That person can't be of the Most High, because look at their flaws. Look at the flaws. There's no condemnation in those in Christ. They don't understand that. They don't get it. You got people in y'all's lives, friends, family, colleagues, associates, who gave up on you, and the Most High never gave up on you. There's some people that was in y'all's lives, brothers and sisters, that only seen you halfway through your transformation. They counted you out because they only seen you halfway through a transformation. And if they were meant to walk with your complete transformation, then they would have been positive. They would be there. But guess what? They were not meant to walk. They were not meant to be in your full transformation. Why? Why? Because they did not deserve that version of you. When people treat you bad, when you down and out, when you going through things, when you're suffering, when you're struggling, when they treat you bad, when you in those places in life, then they damn sure don't deserve a good version of you. When they mistreat you, when you down, it's nothing like when somebody know you down, know you suffering, know you struggling, know you're not the best version of yourself, but instead of being positive, instead of having healing hands, instead of being righteous towards you, they try to bury you. They don't deserve the best version of you. They don't deserve to have you as a friend. They don't deserve to have you as a family member. They don't deserve to have you as a colleague, associate, wife, husband. They don't deserve to have you as nobody when they could not walk with you. There's some people who got pure joy and pleasure off of your stress, off of your anxiety, off of your pain. It made them feel better about themselves. When some of you all were around people, anytime things were too peaceful, they created problems. Some of y'all was around family like this. They couldn't imagine being around individuals that could not stand to see you in peace. There's onlookers watching from the outside who watch you from a distance, and they're looking, even neighbors, these demonic neighbors and people and co-workers. There's people actually watching saying, look how damn peaceful that person looked. And it pisses them off. Just because you look peaceful. That's how serious it is in this world. Just because you keep your head on a swivel, you mind your business. Listen, it be people pissed off at me, and I know this on social media, because they believe I'm too composed. Would you believe that? They want to see me angry, sad, upset, emotional. That's not my personality. My Father in heaven built a very strong soldier of the Most High. I don't even consider myself a soldier. I'm a general. And through composure, I learned that's how you think. If I'm in a boxing ring and I get hit and I start to panic and I start to get emotional, guess what? I'm going to lose that fight. If I take a punch, I get hit, but I'm still cognitive and conscious. I'm still thinking like, oh, they caught me. That's a hard one. Man, that's a major blow, but keep your head in the game. That's when I'm able to win the fight. That's life. Don't give people the pleasure of seeing you suffer, brothers and sisters. It's nothing more they would like to see you crash out and lose your damn mind. We are the children of the Most High. We are too powerful for these demonic narcissists and jealous people to break us. We're just too powerful for that. We go through our ups and downs, trials and tribulations just like everybody else. We fall into the sin. We fell into sin time and time again in our lives too. We battled the flesh in our lives too. just like everyone else. But I'm gonna tell y'all, when you brothers and sisters fall short, oh, it's a lot different than everybody else. You got to understand, you held to a higher standard. The Most High is holding you to a higher standard. That's why you want to live a life that seeks repentance. That's why you want to go the right direction. But you got to understand, when you fall in the face of the world, they want to see you condemned. They want to see you in despair. They want to see you in destruction. They just want something they can talk about. They want to see you buried. They don't want to see you rise from obscurity and make it. That's the difference between the world and the Most High. See, the Most High can see that we're gradually growing, we're changing, we're going in the right direction. We're going towards perfection. The world would like to highlight shortcomings and falls and failures. And, when we strike out, they don't pay attention to the home runs. They only pay attention to the strikeouts. Get away from people like that. You got to be around people who are going to speak highly of you and say, you know what? You may be going through this. You may be going through that. You may have made mistakes here. You may have made mistakes there. But the Lord ain't call you to be this person. The Lord ain't call you to do that. The Lord ain't call you to do this. That's the type of words you need. You need people to say, you know what? I believe in you. I can see you genuinely fighting in the spirit. So many of y'all right now, as y'all watching this video, y'all are literally fighting spiritual warfare. Y'all fighting temptations. Y'all fighting battles every single day. And I can feel that you brothers and sisters are fighting. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to win the battle. You have to keep fighting. The person who is condemned is the person who gives up. The person who is condemned is the person who no longer feels anything for the wrong they do. They don't take any accountability. They don't try to clean up their act. They don't feel no conviction whatsoever. The fact that some of you brothers and sisters fall short, but you feel conviction, that's a sign that you're changing and that you're not complacent. You're not happy with whatever you've fallen short in. You're not happy with lust or gluttony, or self-loathing, or depression, or anxiety. It may be gossip for some of you all. You're not happy with it if you feel something when you do it. Don't get caught up in despair. You need to count every day you can go without that said sin. And pray when temptation arises, because the Most High don't tempt us above that we are unable to escape. How long can you go on a stretch, not fall into whatever device you suffering? And then when you go on those stretches and temptation come, because it will come, whether it's cigarettes, weed, alcohol, lust, perversion, whatever it is you got going on, you got to fight. And when that temptation come, you pray the Most High make a way out. He didn't give you the temptation, but he'll give you a way out of it. Refuse to quit. Refuse to stay in despair. Because despair is what's going to keep promoting the sin. You're going to go in the same vicious cycle if you fall into despair. No, you got to get up and you got to fight. If you're a good-hearted person, deliverance is needed for some of us. You need deliverance. You may need somebody to talk to. Confession is needed. Nowadays, Satan want to insulate us and isolate us so we can't tell anybody about what we're going through in life. I'm blessed to have friends and family. I got a friend that's like a brother to me. My grandmother. I can confide in these people. And that's why I would like to offer my platform as somewhere where people can actually reach out and confide in me. I'm not judging nobody. Whatever you're dealing with, I'm not judging. When people reach out to me via Instagram, A lot of people reach out to me on Instagram and they hit me up with just what they're going through. And I don't have no problem with that. When I have time to go through my inbox, I go through my inbox and I respond to these messages. And the reason why I respond is because if it wasn't for you, the people, I wouldn't be who I am. The least I can do is sit there and respond to some of you brothers and sisters and the issues that you may be going through. And no, I'm not charging people to do it. I'm not doing consultations. I'm not one of these little sleazy ass businessmen on here that just let me pay you to counsel you. No, I'm not on that. People reach out to me all the time. If I don't get to your message, it's just because I'm too busy. I don't have a secretary answering messages, none of that. I'm not charging nobody to send y'all some messages in your time of need. We are family. And as much as I've had prayers come from y'all, I'm praying for y'all too. A lot of you all, when my mom passed away, y'all sent an immense amount of positive energy towards me. Y'all prayed. Y'all gave me so much condolences. Y'all lifted me up in the spirit, showed me so much love. I realized that I had to keep going because that's not only what my moms would have wanted me to do, but I have a responsibility to do y'all the service that I've been doing for years now. And that's bringing the truth to power. That's standing on what's right. That's covering the stories y'all want to hear. And y'all, I'm telling you, y'all gave me a lot of strength during that time. And I'm still having my moments because that's not something that you just get over. That's just something that never goes away. And I have my moments. But the love that I've been showed is immense. It's immense. It's so immense, the love that I was shown. Even when there was negativity being put out there, I got so much love from you brothers and sisters, I couldn't even pay attention to anybody talking crazy. Couldn't pay attention to it. And there's a mutual respect there. You can't get nowhere in life without having respect. And I respect my audience. I respect the people who support me. And that's what it is. And with y'all support, one of these days, this platform is going to be one of those platforms that got 500,000 to 1 million subscribers. I believe that we will go there. And the reason we will go there is because there's much more of us out there. Some of you all have been getting a good message for years now, coming over, learning. And I want y'all to understand that we got way more family out there. It's way more of us that we can reach that should be with us right now. And all it takes is us moving like a team, sharing the material, liking the content, sharing it everywhere, hyping the videos up. Imagine if all 1,000 people watching right now just hype this video up. Guess what? Next time we go live, we're going to have twice as many people that we can give the word to, and y'all can meet more people and bond with more people in that truth. Because the people who ain't meant to be there, they'll be weeded out. Out of 1,000, maybe 400, 500, 600 stick around, maybe not. But we are a team over here. And it's a powerful movement we got going on. Thank you for the support, Joan. I appreciate it. It's a powerful movement, and I thank y'all for being supportive of it. You know, keep y'all's head on a swivel, stay up. If you would like to support the work, support me at nubreedglobaltruth.com. It's highly appreciated, as well as HebrewCare.com. Get y'all natural products. And feel free to support me on the Cash App. Cash App is Nubreed Global Truth. Your donations are highly appreciated. Thank y'all so much for y'all's time. More material coming. Time to get some rest. See y'all next time.